I don't know. Both of these sets of skins are pretty good, but if I were to pick one, I would go with... What's that? I... It... Oh... Oh... Uh, um... Uh... uh give me a second, guys. Alright, let's get this one out of the way and resume with the regular uploads. I'm just going to talk about one female character from 2010 to 2025 that I really like, totaling to 15 characters. Some of them I like sexually, some of them not sexually. Starting off with 2010, I've got to give it to Tali Zora from Mass Effect 2. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone with a profound love for the Mass Effect franchise. The nomadic spacefaring race of the Quarians are some of the more interesting groups in the Mass Effect universe, with the mystery of their appearance hidden by the hazard suits they have to wear all the time to sustain their weak immune systems, and the racial discrimination they receive by other races makes Tali a character you want to support and see grow throughout the franchise. So, know when I mean no ill intent, but Tali, could you stop pointing your gun at Legion already? Alright, so I really tried to find a 2011 game that I played with a female character I liked, but I just couldn't. So we're breaking the rules not 2 characters in, and I'm giving it to Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War 3. Look here, Gears of War, back in the day, was a trilogy series for the boys, okay? A true bro would understand, and I'm not going to explain myself. In 2012, I'd say it's Gage from Borderlands 2. Necromancer was always my default when starting a new playthrough, and I would almost never play New Game Plus content anyway, so I'd never have to worry about how badly her kit would fall off in harder content anyway. It's not like Borderlands games really reward you with good aim anyway with how bullet spongy enemies get, so why should I play by the traditional rules of an FPS when looter shooters never played by any of the traditional rules in the first place? On to 2013, older Assassin's Creed titles had a unique competitive multiplayer mode where you would have to blend into a large map of civilians while you'd get assigned another player in the lobby to hunt down and kill while concealing your identity to others assigned to kill you at the same time. By far some of the most fun I've had in multiplayer gaming, and in the case of Assassin's Creed Black Flag that year, I would always pick the Orchid as my character to hunt others down as. Just a hot Chinese pirate woman with a sword. What more could I ask for? Okay, this is an obscure one. In 2014, Ubisoft Montreal released a short, pseudo turn-based RPG called Child of Light, and one of my favorite characters was Nora. Unfortunately, Child of Light's story and writing is inspired by the old folktale now popularly known as a Disney princess IP of Cinderella, and Nora here is a stepsister to the protagonist Aurora. So that should tell you what happens to Nora, which pissed me off because she was such a cracked party member with her abilities that I generally felt like my enjoyment of playing the game dropped off a cliff when she leaves the party. 2015 had a lot of noteworthy games that came out, and I only played one of them, Fallout 4, so I'm giving this year to Curie. An odd one, I know, but bonding with a French-accented robot whom eventually you put in a human cyborg body later on, I found to be more interesting than most of the other female companions. I know her survivability drops significantly when she gets the synth body, but it's not hard to break Fallout 4 in your favor anyway. In 2016, I played a lot of Dishonored 2, and Emily Kaldwin was a badass female character. Her abilities were a lot of fun to play around with, and Emily's outlook on the events that unfold around her, being molded by how you play the game, be it low or high chaos, made for a much more immersive character and experience. I know a lot of people are probably loyal to Corvo Attano from the first game, but I gotta give one out to our almighty Empress. Nier Automata came out in 2017, and my favorite character was the enigmatic A2. Most people prefer 2B, but I liked A2 more given how you needed to finish quote-unquote the game multiple times before you get to see what this character's role in the story is going for. Also, I like her long hair, and her frenzy mode that lets her deal insane glass cannon damage was fun to tear through enemies with. 2018, well, Smash Ultimate came out this year, and there's plenty of female characters to choose from in the game, with probably the most checkered history in the fighting game tournament scene. I'm going with Palutena. Who wouldn't want to choose the green-haired goddess? Next up, I've sunk hundreds of hours into Fire Emblem Three Houses in 2019, and Lizithia was my favorite character. She was a strong unit with a great character arc, entertaining interactions with other characters, and a design I liked a lot with its use of white and purple. Also, because the second half of the game takes place 5 years later, she's of age by that point, so I don't have to explain myself. This one's kind of a throwaway for 2020. I didn't really play anything aside from Animal Crossing New Horizons, so I'm giving it to Anka. To some of you in the know, I'm sure this isn't a surprise. Just know I'm not as Anka-pilled as you people though. I have my own limits. Genshin may have released in 2020, but the character next on the list didn't debut until 2021. That character is Raiden Shogun. I've already explained why I like her in my Prolova video, but to reiterate here, it's primarily for her Japanese voice actor and her traditional Japanese design with the color purple. In 2022, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was my game of the year. A major contributing factor was the character dynamics of the main party, with the romance story of the two main characters of Noah and Mio being well told and executed. So with that, Mio takes the spot for this year's favorite character for me, without question. Honkai Star Rail released in 2023, and I was one of the few amidst everyone pulling for Jing Liu whom held his Stellar Jades in favor of Topaz. Everyone was too busy gaslighting themselves into thinking they nerfed her ass, while I knew all along it had never left us. Get in the cuck chair, nummy. 2024 had a sleeper hit release for me with Unicorn Overlord, a real-time strategy game that I really enjoyed playing, and Rosalind was my favorite character in the game, and for that year. She's your typical playful dark elf type, but without the arrogant self-aggrandizing you'd anticipate with the stereotype. She was also an incredibly busted unit that could really just go anywhere. I'm sure some of you opted for the one-eyed Dami Mommy, the 12-foot giantess, or possibly even the furry, but you won't catch me doing the same. And to close out the list with 2025, I'm giving it to Vivian in Zenless Zone Zero. If someone treats you like a literal lord, you hold on to that person for as long as you can. Or run very, very far away. I promise Vivian's the former. Just give her a chance, guys. Okay, and those have been my personal favorite characters, mostly female, from 2010 to 2025. I hope you enjoyed this list, and now the regular uploads can resume. This has been Arikado Zodan, and I'm clocking out.